Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. And for the first time ever, welcome live in studio.
Amazing.
Jack Herrington.
Hey.
How you doing? So I'm super pumped about this for many reasons. Like, first and foremost, I'm just happy to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here.
I feel like
in your studio I did a little bit on. It's great to be here.
And we were talking about this the other day when we first had the idea to do an episode on HTMX, and I realized we've been friends, and I've never asked you to be on the show, which I don't know what's wrong with me.
I feel left out.
But so on top of that, I'm just thrilled that we were able to set up here in the studio, have the two of us here live, because
and talk about cool stuff.
Yeah, and there's just something special about being in the same space. You know, I think
it really is.
It is very fun to connect with people remotely, but even that 100 milliseconds of lag in a Zoom call is it just slows things down in a way that I don't know. The energy is always great in person.
We both got a COVID test like a couple weeks ago, so I think we're good.
We have been testing heavily, man. It's been brutal out here lately. My wife and I have gone through, like 5 or 6 tests each in the last 5 weeks. Like, really? Well, every time we see somebody, like a few days later, somebody, it's like somebody's like, well, my friend said that they had COVID, and so I don't know, maybe test.
Anytime that happens.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Just becoming the leave the house ritual.
I guess I just don't see as many people because, you guys are social butterflies.
I guess that's true. That's true. We do spend a lot of time out and about. So what's up, everybody? How are you? Jack, welcome. So I feel like I probably anybody who knows me knows you, but just in case, for folks who aren't familiar with you and your work, do you want to give us a bit of a background?
Sure. I'm Jack Herrington. I YouTube as the Blue Collar Coder, and it's because I like to focus on kind of practical stuff. That's how that got that name. And so you should go out and check out the YouTube channel. And I do a lot on web dev. So a lot on Next.js, React, of course, obviously. But I've been doing this game so long that I do enjoy looking at new stuff a lot. And so that's how I get into stuff like HTMX. And it's weird, right? Because, I think about Next.js in the terms of high-end enterprise type stuff. And it's and now I'm also into the kind of lower end stuff. And, the kind of we're just going to go and crank out a site. And I'm like, it depends. If that's your thing, if that's the need, go for it.
And I think
different tools for different things.
And I feel like that's maybe the thing that has become the most important to me as I've gotten more mature in my career, more experience, is that I don't know. I feel like the tools are exactly that. They're tools. Yeah. And I feel like I spent a lot of time early in my career being very upset if people didn't believe that my tool was the best tool.
Java for life, on the wrist. Really?
But I think that
it has lasted for a while, so I guess there's that. But I'm not getting React tattooed on me anymore. Not that I have any tattoos in the first place.
But I think what's funny about it to me is this idea of, if you treat tools like tools, you can get so much done. You can be so versatile. If you treat tools like identities, then it gets, the analogy that I've used is it's sort of like if you hired a contractor to paint your house, right? And they showed up to your house and that you show them, well, this is where I want to paint. And they unload a box of hammers and you go, well, aren't you going to use a paintbrush?
Right.
And they say, no, I'm a hammer guy. And if you'll just take a moment to look at these benchmarks, you'll understand while hammers are clearly superior.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't come up with that analogy, but I think it actually is very, very fitting. Yeah, I expected you to go for colors. I'm a blue guy, and you want a pink house.
No,
happening.
I think, and this is sort of the thing, right? Is it because to me that's how ridiculous it sounds when somebody is like, "Well, we need to build a website," and they're like, "Well, we need to stand up Kubernetes," and it's but why? It's going to live for 4 days. It's an event website. It doesn't matter.
It can be static.
Yeah, right. We could literally build this in GeoCities. It's okay.
Probably should actually. Yeah. Wix is actually pretty cool.
But Wix is great these days, and there's a lot of tools that do a lot for us that we don't really, code isn't the point. The point is that we make something that people can use, and
I think so I would say my side of it. I'm playing this game. Obviously, I'm old, right? So I'm not going to deny it. but,
Obviously, I'm old. Somebody clip that, please.
You know, like I've been doing this since I was 13 years old on a TRS 80. Right. I don't even know who would know like if such a thing exists.
Chat, if you know what that is,
Right.
tell us.
So like the web is like something I hit mid-career, you know, like that. I was doing like HyperTalk and hypercar. We're going to actually talk about that pretty soon on the HTMX thing. And so I could not be here were it not for the fact that like you just keep on changing technologies and learning new stuff all the time.
Right.
And so I always look at technology as kind of like, okay, you know, that's a cool twist on this. I never say though, like, oh, I've seen that before, because that immediately ages you, and then people are like, oh yeah. You can't take it seriously.
Well, and I think too, like the thing that's interesting about all this to me is that, you know, the argument tends to be some variation on, well, we're just going in circles, right?
Yeah.
And it can
It's
look
not,
that
though.
way.
It's like a circle. It's like a circle going.
It's an upward spiral.
It's an
right?
upward spiral, right?
And I
it
think
keeps getting better.
And really, that's sort of you got to have the right perspective on this stuff, because the reason that we keep exploring new ideas is because the surrounding technologies change.
Yeah.
There's this concept that I love of the adjacent possible, which is like, you know, you couldn't in the 1600s invent jet propulsion.
Right.
Because there were so many previous inventions that needed to happen before you could go to jet propulsion.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we did server rendering back in the late 90s, it was because that's what we could do. And when we got to client rendering, we hit some limitations with that, with, you know, as far as what jQuery started solving. And so then we started moving back to server rendering again, because that's what the technology would let us do.
Which we're going to be doing soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we realized the limits of server rendering when we saw the kind of messiness of PHP and stuff. And we started looking at MVC.
Yeah.
We started looking
Right. Well,
at
we want
separation.
more dynamic behavior on the client.
Yeah.
So when we run in JavaScript, and now you got an issue where your server is in PHP and it's rendering your components one way in PHP, and then you got your JavaScript and they're rendering your same components, and now you got to keep those two in sync.
Right.
And that's a pain in the butt. And then that's how that leads to React and isomorphism. And now we're at the place where people are like, oh my god, you know, I've got this mega bundle.
Right.
On both, you know, the server and the client.
It's like, I'm serving a marketing page. Why is this 700 kilobytes?
So like, and now we're kind of getting back to, well, HTMX, maybe we do it all on the server, and now I can write my server in whatever I want to, Go, Rust, JavaScript, we're going to do it in Astro, you know. Yeah.
So in the most flawless segue of all time, let's talk about HTMX.
Let's talk about HTMX. Right, exactly. There you go. 10 minutes into it. Let's talk about HTMX.
So HTMX is, I thought when I first saw it, a meme account.
It is. It definitely a meme game is strong.
It took me longer than I care to admit to realize that HTMX had technology behind it. I thought it was just somebody shitposting. That's really what I thought.
Okay.
So then I started seeing people were talking about it less jokey. They were saying like, this is really cool. It does a cool thing. And I just haven't had time. I haven't looked at it. So for folks who are like me, have no idea what this is, what is the high level on HTMX?
Okay, so it's a one price library you just drop on your page, and it gives you, it pretty much adds on the Ajax functionality in a way that feels like it's integrated with HTML via HTML attributes, right? So you're just adding on new attributes, namespace with HX, that allow you to do things like very easily make REST requests, or HTTP requests that return HTML in a style very akin to jQuery from back in the day. So we're pushing things back onto the server, and then they've got a whole book. It's a thicker book than you imagine. It's a serious book. And
HTMX does?
Yeah.
Isn't this technology like 6 weeks old?
I don't know. They're very good writers, very fast writers.
That's prolific.
Yeah, it is actually. And anyway, so it's kind of a philosophy of like trying to put everything back into, go back to the roots of HTML and hypermedia, right? So the fact that it was, and that's where it all comes from. It's like the idea that like you get this document back, and it's got all the links and everything else that you need, and you know, from a semantic perspective, we can gather some value out of it. And the document is essentially like, I guess, self-contained. Whereas if you think about what is a JSON endpoint giving you? It's just giving you sort of raw data. Like, how do you want that formatted? Like, what can a what can any kind of agent get from the JSON output of something, right? Unless it understands the structure. Like what HTMX is kind of pushing towards is like, hey, let's go make sure that everything the server is sending back is something that an intelligent agent could understand, like something that understands hypermedia could understand.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Cool.
That's the whatever highfalutin view.
So
the less highfalutin views, add on these attributes, and it gives REST really easily. And yeah, the amount of JavaScript that you put on the page is set. It's like there's, I don't know, 17, 24K for HTMX, the library. And once you get that on the page, you're done. Like that's all the JavaScript you'll need. You're not gonna need bundlers, you're not gonna need anything else. It's just like, that's it.
So this is not bundled code. Like this isn't something that you put into your, like, so it's not working like React where it's a framework in the sense of there's like client-side compile and stuff like that.
Pop your mind out of that.
Okay. All right. So
way pop your mind.
So what's the right mental model here? Because you're saying when I'm writing HTML, I'm adding attributes,
right.
And in the component world, that brings me to like what I've seen in Angular or Vue, where you've kind of got like the ng if statements or the v click statements and stuff like that.
Yep. You're not gonna do any of that because you're gonna go and ask the server for the HTML that's going to change whatever, you're going to say, okay, I mean, we should probably do this because it's a little easier to do than to like talk about. You're going to put some attributes on a button to like say, okay, when you hit this button, you're going to go and make a GET request to this endpoint and or this route, and you're going to get back some HTML and you're going to put that in this blob, in this div over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we actually just take the opportunity here? Let's dive in. And so, before we do that, let me do a quick shout out. We have Netlify and Vetsu Code doing sponsorship for our live captioning. We've got Amanda here with us from White Coat Captioning. Thank you so much, Amanda. And that is available. You can see the captioning link on the bottom of the screen. Haven't figured out how to pipe captions directly into StreamYard yet. StreamYard, if you see this, please help me.
Live tech report.
Yeah, but thank you so much to Netlify and Vetsu Code for making this possible. It is very meaningful. We are hanging out today with Jack Herrington. So let me drop a quick link into the chat for anybody who wants to check out. That's absolutely not the right thing. Oops. Whatever. Don't click that link. You don't need that link.
It's like 10 people show up. Hi, guys.
I mean, you can come in if you want. You're going to be in backstage. It's going to be super weird. So that's Jack's.
I'm sure they will.
And then we're going to be looking at HTMX today. So here is HTMX. Look at this joker. What's up, Dom?
Nice. Dude, there it is. Nice.
How dare you crash my show?
Posted it, and I was like,
What are you're not even going to... Oh, wait. He's got the headphones here. Oh. You talking? I don't... You know what? I can't hear you. Get out of my show.
Love you too, babe. I'm trying to like my broken wrist, like trying to make a heart. That's pretty sad.
Okay, so we are doing HTMX today, and then you also told me we're going to try to put HTMX into Astro.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to go.
I actually think that I think there was some folks on Twitter who were like, use Astro. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely, we're going to use Astro because I think that if you're going to stick with JavaScript, the combo of Astro and HTMX is fantastic, and they added partials in 3.4, I think almost specifically for this, which is very, very helpful. So yeah, let's fire up an Astro app.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to bring up
5. I think they're just releasing 4 now, but it seemed like 4 was mostly just a Vite upgrade.
Somebody told me how to fix this Dino error, and I just haven't done it yet. I guess I have to uninstall and reinstall it. So let's go here, and then I'm going to npm create Astro.
At latest, I think.
Yeah, at latest.
Look at you. I usually just like go to the site and just copy paste that.
At this point, I've done enough of it that I'm kind of like, okay. I remember how this works.
Hey, all right.
So let's learn HTMX. And
no, we don't want any
empty.
No. Let's go empty.
Okay.
Now that you can see it, but it's going to ask us whether we want
we
dependencies.
will install the dependencies.
And then we want TypeScript.
Let me actually move this over so everybody can see it.
TypeScript to be. There
we do want to write TypeScript, yes.
But relax. Just relax. with the TypeScript.
You want it relaxed?
I want it relaxed. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know.
We're going laid back today.
Series on TypeScript, but in this case, let's go relaxed.
Hide this banner so that it's a little easier to see what's going on in here. Can we stick to HTMX? We are sticking to HTMX.
Well, you gotta have some way to
serve it.
Right. You gotta have a page to put it on, and so that's going to. Like, you could go with Go or Rust or whatever you're. Yeah, PHP is an example. You gotta have something. It's not gonna exist on its own. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's code there. Bring that up. Noise.
All right, and I'm going to close this one. We're going to bring this up. Oh, Dino, you gotta chill.
With the Dino. Hey guys, chill. Exactly.
All right. Okay. So here we go. We are in.
Okay. So yeah, let's use the the HTMX integration. That's going to be the easiest way to get it on the page.
Do I do it like this?
Add a script tag. No, I think it's npm. Are you using PNPM or npm?
I use npm.
That's cool. That's fine.
Okay.
Astro-HTMX. And then htmx.org. Oops, sorry. And then also htmx.org.
Got it. HTMX dot. You can put a dot in a package
Apparently
name?
so.
Who knew?
Who knew? That guy. Meme guy knew. That's who knew. Okay. And then we need to tweak the configuration for Astro config JMJS now.
Okay.
And then we need to bring in that Astro HTMX.
Okay, and is that let's see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Look at that. So import HTMX
from Astro.
HTMX. Cool.
HTMX.
This is actually documented. We could look at the documentation.
Why would I look at documentation when I've got
you could look at this, and then under an integrations tag.
Oh, under integrations.
Integrations. Yeah. And then an array of these because we're going to add more probably. There we go.
We need an array. Cool. Got okay. So these are going to be an array, not a.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll just throw this into here.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Sweet.
Okay.
Now I've got HTMX. Okay, cool. So now let's go and bring up our browser. Guessing you're going to do Arc.
Okay. And then we'll go localhost 4321.
Take off. Nice. Okay, cool.
Hey.
So yeah, let's just do something really, really easy. Let's go and make another source page called, like, I don't know. What do we want to do? Some sort of songs.astro.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay.
Songs.astro.
And then literally just put some content in there. You know, div, hello, world, whatever.
Okay.
Right. Okay, cool. Nice. Hi. Yeah, okay. H1 hi. There you go. Awesome. Perfect. Great.
Okay.
Now let's go back to page. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So now let's go back to the page, though, and we'll now load that via HTMX. So let's go and replace that Astro with maybe a button.
Replace this Astro with a button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And I don't know, whatever. Load songs, whatever. Or get songs.
Oh, I see what we're doing. Okay. I was not following what you were doing. I'm with you now.
Well,
okay.
All right. So let's make a div we're going to put that into. So like make a div with an ID that's empty.
Okay. Div ID content.
Yeah, perfect. Now up in the button, we're going to do hx-get. So we're going to make a get request, and we're going to do /songs. And then we're going to do hx target and give it hash and then content. I mean, it's CSS.
Got it.
So there you go. Hit save. Now let's go back to the page. Load songs. Hello world.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, now.
Why are you mad?
What mad? Who's
Can
mad?
I find
Nobody
name
mad.
body?
What?
It's right here.
What? Why are you mad? Don't be mad. That seems perfectly legit to me.
Seems like you forgot what you are.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Oh,
that's
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
My VS Code gets a lot of abuse as I install something new every week. So.
I used to do a lot of like restart the TS engine, and now I'm straight up reloading window. And especially since it seems to save the terminal sessions, which is great. So
oh, interesting.
Fine,
you can reload the window?
Yeah. Just do Command-Shift-P and then type reload window.
What? You have got to be kidding me.
Changer.
Okay,
So the
except
Dino
for this
comes
Dino.
back, jerk. At least you know. Like now, you'll be able to check to make sure that like when you disable that thing,
That is very
that
cool.
It's disabled.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, well, let's go into the network inspector because you're going to see a lot of cruft on the. Yeah. Okay. So reload. Hit load songs again. Yeah. Cool. And then we'll go to songs and look at the response. Yeah. So it's getting a lot of cruft, right? It's getting the Vite stuff and all that sort of stuff. So what we want to do is we want to just have that really pure. We want to have just the div and hello world and all that.
Okay.
So let's go back over into VS Code. And then we'll add on the partial to the songs.astro.
Add on the partial.
Yes. Oh, right. So right at the top here, do the triple dash so we open up code, right? And do export const partial equals true. Yeah. And this came in with 3.4. If you load songs now, and you go to songs, it should be nice and clean. Ta-da!
Ooh.
There you go.
So this is the first time I'm using the partial support, and that's, I mean,
Yeah.
in kind of true Astro form, like I like that it just gets out of the way. It's like, would you like to use this as a partial? Cool.
Yeah. When I did my first video on this, I actually had to go in and like make middleware that would like grab the CSS and the JS because I'm like, no, I don't want, whatever. Because I had Tailwind and there was a lot of stuff.
It looks like
and
Stephen
I'm like,
Young.
guys, can I get, all right, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Steven?
when I was doing, so I was talking to, I was like, hey, Fred, can we get partials? And hitting up Twitter and all that sort of stuff. And they're like, and finally 3.4 came out and they're like, yes, partial.
I'm just imagining
Yes.
Fred just like,
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to characterize Fred that way.
No.
The response was
I
kind of
think
like
Fred would characterize Fred that
they
way.
threw out like 10 ideas. And I'm like, what? Just like just partial. Like, I mean, you can just do dot partial, like whatever.
yeah.
I
no,
like this. This is
This
clean.
is nice and clean.
Yeah.
Like I think this is great, and I like the fact that this,
But how you digging it? Like,
this feels useful, right? Like
Yeah.
I think the thing that's interesting to me is that it sort of feels like components. It sort of has the like hydration feel of Astro, where you're like, I need a button and the button needs to do something, but I don't want the rest of the page to have to be a React app, to have this one little thing be a React app.
Mm-hmm.
So it has that same good feel of like, this is the only interactive thing, so it's the only thing I have to make interactive.
Yep.
It's interesting to me that this is being done through HTTP calls as opposed to, and I mean, I know that they're doing HTTP calls whenever you like load something with a button click.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me that it's just kind of like putting that right in front instead of sort of abstracting it away the way that a lot of frameworks do.
Well, sure, right? And the way that a lot of us, like I'm sure anybody, like, wow, React has been around 10, 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, our focus was on doing, like, we make a JSON request to the server, we get back some data, we do some rendering on the client, whether it's Ember or Angular or React or whatever. And so a lot of folks are just like, that is the way. That is the way, the truth, and the light, right? And so, like, flipping that around and saying now the server is going to be, like, that's going to do all the rendering.
Right.
And it's going to return some HTML, kind of like, whoa. And, I mean, invariably, I don't know if somebody said something already, but, like, somebody will bring up security. Obviously, you want to be on some sort of platform that's going to do sanitization of whatever you're getting back at whatever microservices or user-generated content, more likely, in your database, so you don't get script injection. And that would be, I think that I originally used like PHP, and yeah, you can, PHP on its own doesn't do sanitization, but like Laravel, if you use that, that'll do it. Astro does sanitization, so yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Somebody jumping in.
No, this is just me trying to make it so that people can actually see what's going on the screen. So if that, let me know if that's...
Yeah, that's maybe too small, but we'll see.
Let me know if that's too...
Nope, you don't get that.
I just did the whole
You
thing.
don't-
There we
nope,
go.
no,
Okay.
oh, okay, there you
So let me know if that's too small, but I'm trying to make it so that our heads aren't covering up the...
I'm loving StreamYard. This is cool.
StreamYard is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
it's a powerful deal. Oh, and I just saw there was a question. Thought the stream today was going to be about building emails with JSX. So that was the original plan. Andrew had something come up last minute. So Jack,
Hi.
like a champion,
I'm here.
stepped
I live,
up.
you know, a little bit away.
What? Let's see.
15
You,
minutes.
yeah, you
Got some croissants, came in.
you were ready to go on like
I
10
bring-
hours notice.
Yeah.
Like what a champion.
And I bring
Like,
croissants. So, you know.
yeah, I got a snack
Does
this
this other guy
morning.
bring
like,
croissants? No.
no, he's not
You
emailing
didn't.
me a
No,
croissant. It's-
exactly. You did. I'm here. First in studio guest.
But Andrew will be on the show. That'll be a few. Honestly, like we're booked out a couple months at this point, so it'll probably be around February. I'm sorry.
And croissants are required.
And croissants are required. Yes, that's true. The bar has been raised. All right. So we have set up a page.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna let's side by side these because this is so simple that you can side by side it.
Yeah.
Wait, I meant to
Oh
pull
yeah, that was
in.
not it. But the other page was simple.
This
Yeah.
is the one I was trying to pull down. So let me do that.
Right.
So look at this. Look at
Yeah.
this, y'all.
How easy is that?
This is it. This is
Yeah.
all of the code.
And in fact, actually, I mean, we should really extract out most of that in like the layout. Right?
Yeah, like I mean, really, this is the
actual code,
relevant
right.
part.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is sort of, I would guess, the hello world of HTMX
Yeah, definitely.
here. What?
But it actually doesn't get a whole lot more beyond that. I mean, most of what HTMX is going to do is around, you know, the stuff that doesn't come out of the box with HTML. Okay, because we're going to start getting into hyperscript here, I guess.
Okay.
We'll see how far we go with it. But, you know, it's mostly around REST requests, so automating posts, gets, doing things like intervals, doing stuff like, and so if you want to do a polling thing, that makes it's super easy to do that.
Okay.
If you want to do like a search field, you know, it does all the debouncing and stuff. It makes it really easy to do that. So there's a lot of that, and then there's some stuff on validation, which is really nice. But the whole idea is to kind of lean as heavily as you can on the web platform. You know,
Got it. Okay.
Really lean hard into it. So like a combination of view transitions, which is something that Astro really likes, which is part of the platform, but has some nice handy helper functions that
Sure.
Astro really couples nicely with this. So yeah, you're leaning hard on that web platform. And then, so yeah, getting back to it, like this request stuff is actually a lot of what HTMX is going to do for you.
Okay. Yeah. So let's dive into that.
Okay.
You had an idea that I thought was good, where we can take the Spotify API, and then we can just do a little like search interface.
Yeah. Let's do it.
so if
songs, right?
yeah.
So let's do that.
All right. So let me pull these back up to the same window.
Right.
And
we have some code. I actually
actually
did
just
some
gonna
prep
close this
work
one.
last night. I take this seriously.
look at
I'm
this.
like, hey man, let's go and do like a thing. So we got some code. You can pull out like the Spotify from that library, that TS file.
Yes. So,
That's
okay.
gonna-
So let me actually show. Here's the code.
Yeah, right.
This is the library that Jack built to kind of get us prepped for today.
Well, it's full app, but yeah, within that under like source, and then
You had like a lib.
yeah, lib Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
this is
Not the world's best code.
a bunch of TypeScript stuff. So we'll kind of collapse that down.
Yeah.
We're getting a token, so I'll have to go grab these, and
Right.
then we send off a call.
Yeah, we want to get back a bearer token.
Got it.
And it's server to server, so there's like a couple of different ways you can auth. This is the way that you would auth from a server to another server. So you're just going to like encode base64 the keys that you get back, and then you ask it for a token, it gives back a bearer token.
Got it.
Right. And then you need that bearer token to make any other subsequent request. In this case, there's get albums, where you give it a query.
Any string. Yeah.
Right. And it just basically gives you back a list.
We
of
grab our
albums.
token.
Yeah.
We make a search for any type of album, up to
Yeah.
20 of them. Send off that bearer token we got. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then
And the same
down.
sort of thing for.
Oh, and you're caching. Nice.
Yeah. You know, don't want to hit it too much.
Very responsible.
Thank you.
And then it looks like we've got one to get a single album.
Right. So we want to get detail info. We get the tracks.
Okay.
And all the other stuff. I mean, it's amazing, actually. The Spotify API is no BS.
It does a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let me create a new file. We'll call this lib spotify.ts. I'm going to drop everything in here.
All of that stuff in there.
And then I'm going to make one quick change because by default, they do the import dot. Oops, if I can import dot meta. Okay.
You're trying to sell me on this keyboard, weren't you?
I love this keyboard. It's hard to. Jack's watching me struggle to type all day, so I understand the hesitance. Let me get a dot env in here.
Saner than mine one. I don't understand, but okay.
And then I'm going to move this off screen for just a quick second. I have. Oops, I need you.
Make sure you guys don't get all the environment variables and all that fun stuff.
Although, as much as the chat would love to have me leak yet another set of environment variables.
You know, it's funny. In videos, I've stopped actually covering them up because they're already dead by the time that the video goes, right? And so I was getting more feedback of like, hey, you didn't cover it up well enough, you know?
Oh, yeah,
and they're like, oh my God, there was this one frame where I could see your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but they were dead anyway. So it's like, why even bother? Just like say in the video, hey, like, they're dead, you know? And make sure they're dead, obviously. That's to anybody doing YouTube videos. Kill those keys before the video goes live.
You're so responsible.
I know.
I'd never do that.
What? Okay.
Like, well, I mean, okay. So we've got this here. These are set. We should be good to go here.
Yeah, I think so. So we go back over into songs, right?
Yes.
So that's where we're gonna make import like get song, get albums. Import get albums from.
Get albums.
Why isn't that hinting?
Who knows?
I don't know.
From lib, Spotify.
Okay, there you go. All right, cool. Yeah, and then we're gonna want to do like. Okay. Well, so we need to go and so right now, you need to go get the. Well, we need to make a search box.
Okay.
We need to post form data to it. So let's go back over to our page. Oh wait, that's yeah, good, perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so we want to make a form here and make that an input, or make an input.
Okay, so I'm gonna go simple. We'll go input.
Nice.
Sure, we'll do a search input.
Yeah.
Does it need any of the like name stuff?
I don't know. You usually use a query.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Placeholder if you want it. Whatever. And then you need a submit button. So take that. Well, yeah. You could.
Should we just use this one?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move this one up. Delete this one.
All right. Cool. Type is submit.
Type is submit.
All right. And I think you did want to do HX post to songs. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
That should be good.
And then content here, this is going to be the output.
Yeah, that's where it's going to go take that.
Okay.
Content.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
why don't I change this into?
Right?
I'm going to change this.
Imagine that. And I think, well, fallback. You could do fallbacks. I guess with this, if you didn't want to support non-JS.
Right. So we'll just make this. We'll do search.
I always get that one wrong. Sriracha.
Okay, so we got this. We'll label it, and then I'm going to give this one an ID so that it can find it. Search input. Okay, so that should give us.
If you have it inside the label, I don't think you need it.
I don't think you do. I think you are correct.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's hit some sort of search then. That's nice. Look at you.
Okay.
So nice.
Hit some kind of search.
Yeah. Cool. Go do something.
So we can search. All right. There we go. We got the deals.
Just make sure that this works at least.
Right. And so that does what we want. Now this isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Okay.
It
so
pulls
now we
up
need to
our.
go get that form. Now we need to get Q from the form, right? So
okay.
I think in Astro World.
We can do.
Oops. It's oh, okay. If Astro request method is post, then you're going to get Astro request. You're going to await Astro request form data.
Whoa. Okay. So I'll get data is await. Astro.
It's nice that it's top level await there.
Form data.
And that's it.
Okay.
And then inside of that, you get data.get Q.
Okay, so I need to like have a.
So after that, oh yeah, right.
So we need a way to like get the albums.
Well, let's just do Q.
Just do
first.
one piece at a time.
Let's just see what Q
Okay.
is. So it's like set Q to equal. Yeah.
Q equals
Sure.
data dot get Q.
as string. Yeah, whatever.
Do we have to as string it?
Yeah, because it could be a file. Could be all.
Oh,
it
that's
could
true.
be
That's
all
true. That's
kinds of
true.
things.
Okay.
And then let's console that out.
Why don't we just log this?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You searched for.
and then Q, but then you got to make it a let above the post, and then set that. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so now
Yeah. Now try. It's not gonna work.
it's not going to work.
No, it's not gonna work.
How dare you?
Yeah. Right.
Why didn't that work?
Oh wait.
Could not parse content as form data. How dare you?
Okay, I'm not sure why we got that, but what's really happening is like it's in static mode. It's not running as a server. It is running as a server.
Right,
but it's
of
running in
course,
static
because
mode.
we never told it to be able to accept. Okay,
Right.
So
right.
we need
so
to
we
update
need to do
the
that Astro node integration. This is where we're gonna do that.
Okay, so we're gonna do a node integration.
Yeah.
So if I
So go back over to
stop
our
this, I
Astro
do npx
docs.
astro add
Oh, look at you.
node.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Yes,
know
I
this
do
stuff?
want to
Wow.
install. I spend a lot of time in Astro
do.
these days, and honestly, the reason that I remember this is because this is so damn easy that I will never not use it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So hit up dev and let's see what we got to.
Okay. Whoops.
Oh,
Get into the
whoa,
right. What am I
whoa.
doing? Okay, here we go. npm run dev.
Oh man.
Okay, we go back here, and now
What? It's just too easy.
it worked.
It worked.
It just
Of course it
worked.
works.
I love it. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And because we use, this is the thing that I love is if you use the search input, you get these like nice, like clear
Right?
things just
That's
built in.
cool.
Use the platform,
yes,
everybody.
Use the platform. Use the platform. Okay, let's go back over to songs.
All right.
Now we're gonna go take that queue and feed that into our albums, our get albums thing, and we're gonna wait the output.
Q,
of
feed that into our albums. You know what I just realized? I was like, why is it's so messy? And it's because I'm not using this simplified, look how much cleaner that is. Everything just,
Okay.
did you not see that?
did
so
not
much,
see that. What
so much
happened?
visual noise just disappeared around
Okay.
my whole VS Code thing. It's like, sometimes you just feel like you're getting crowded in.
And with a font size that big, it happens quick.
Okay,
And a screen that small.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So
Well, okay, I think you gotta do let albums.
let albums, that's true.
Yeah, because
That's
we're
true.
gonna get the list of album. Yeah. Right.
And then that's going to be an array.
Right.
Okay, so then down here, we don't really need that to
You
be.
need albums equal. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So albums equals get albums,
await get albums of Q.
await get albums.
And it's change the upper one, the top one to lowercase, please, because I'm having VB shell shock. Okay, and then I would just do like JSON stringify albums.
Yeah, let's do it. So we'll do one of these.
Oh, look at you with the pre. I'm not that good. I just do
Albums.
Oh. Oh, look! Wow.
So
You're
this is-
really going for it.
Because then it just gives you
It's
we
it's
do.
really nicely formatted. Yeah.
So we should get actual. Can I spell Beatles? There
I
it
don't
is.
know.
And then we search.
Oh,
And we get-
my gosh.
Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
Wowzers.
That's a lot of data. Okay, but check it out. We've got actual artist data here, and if I scroll down, we can see
is that
external URLs. We
regions?
got
Like, what is
images. Yeah, it's where it's available. So the countries that you can listen to this song in.
JM, Jamaica. You can listen to it in Jamaica. Awesome.
Apologies to all of the Jamaicans in the
Sorry.
chat.
I love Jamaica. All right, let's do this.
But yeah, so you get the name, release.
You got like cool stuff like that. Externals, Spotify, right? You can literally just make that an anchor tag, and then
Yeah.
you go into Spotify and
No,
you
this is-
play the song.
Beautiful. This,
You got
this is
album
great.
art. You've got all kinds of great stuff.
Okay,
Cool.
So inside here we have the let's see, the artist. So we've got the artists themselves. We've got a link to the artist profile. We've got the album details in the album name, as well as the album link, and then we have album art.
Yeah.
So
and
we can
thankfully, like the 0th one on album art seems to always be the biggest one. So let's use that.
perfect.
Yeah. No one want to use like the little coupon size thing at the bottom.
Okay. So that means that down
We need to do
here,
our regular old map, my friend.
regular old map. It is.
Wouldn't it be great if we had some styling library that we're just at our fingertips. So we could use things like Flexbox so easily.
You're going to make me use Tailwind, aren't you?
If you want to. I'm just saying.
Fine.
I don't know. Put it out for the audience.
Fine. No, it's okay.
Hit 1 if you want to do Tailwind. We'll do a Theo thing. Or actually, more like a Prime thing, but whatever. 1! They see right there.
All right.
One.
Fine.
See?
Dev, you only get 1 vote.
No, that's actually. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this.
We got a couple votes against.
I'm here for you guys.
It's okay. We're gonna entertain. We're gonna entertain Jack Herrington today. All right, we got Tailwind, and now you got to teach me 2 things. 'Cause I've never used Tailwind either. So how does one? No, I just
really.
I love CSS.
Okay, fine.
I love it so much.
So here we go. Flex. You want to make the flex box. You want to do then nothing space flex wrap because you want it to wrap, right? That's probably gonna be it.
Okay.
That's gonna be our container, and then we're gonna go through our albums. And thankfully, this is all typed. So let's put another div in there.
Okay, so we're gonna do a div.
Sure.
So at some point, I developed an aversion
keys.
to like the direct return. Like I still do it sometimes, but
really,
it confuses me.
Okay. All right. So we can do name first, maybe.
Yeah, let's do the name. So we've got what would that be? That would be like an
album.name. It's all typed,
H2 probably. So like album.name. Why am I not getting any types? What's happening?
Why? I don't know.
Well, we didn't type these up here. Do we need to?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, we could do that. Oh, whatever. It's fine.
I mean, whatever. We're okay. We can do this. So we've got.
Let's try that. Just try that. Hit save. Let's go.
Okay, so look, see, Tailwind added a bunch of default shit. Okay, so
we can curse on this show.
Do whatever you want, Jack.
Okay, great. I don't know.
But so this, all right. So this is fine. We're in here. We got these. So let's get album art, which I think I'm going to need a little more.
Right. Okay. So what do you want? You want to be big?
Yeah. Let's do the big art. So we'll
big art. Okay. Image.
So we'll do an image tag. That's going to be the album dot.
Oh, okay. This is where it actually matters. Okay, well, hold on. I actually have it over here. So
it's in here too, right? Like in the album item.
I mean, you need to grab out the type, right? You need to see what the type of that of get albums is returning. So go down a little bit, and it's going to be
get album. It should be returning a promise of an album. So why the hell aren't you?
Yeah, because the initial let album is any over in your code over in songs.
Fine.
Yeah, so import that type, album.
Got it.
And set your albums array to be a type of an array of that.
Type album is going to be... no, that's not how this works.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so now I get...
Now you should be able to get hinting. Okay,
I don't need that.
Yeah, so now go over to album dot, and you should be able to get like...
Beautiful.
Images 0.
Images at 0.
Oh, look at...
I love that. Do you use that one?
Not really.
Okay, and then because this helps with layout, we can do the same thing.
Yes.
But do the width.
Height. Yep, sure.
And the height.
Yeah. And...
Whoops. And then for an alt, we'll do the album name again.
Album name. Okay, cool. Image, whatever. And then let's put in a class there and do W full.
Okay.
W dash full. This is gonna be big, but whatever. Fine.
We'll end up making these smaller, I assume. Yeah. So let's go.
Actually, yeah. Perfect. Ooh, wow.
All right.
Actually, in mobile, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good in mobile.
Yeah, let's do width 1/3. Oh no, sorry. Right, that's the whole card. Good for you. W-1/3.
W-1/3?
Yeah, a third. Yeah. It'll look better if it's bigger, but okay. Sure,
this is fine. This is fine. Okay, so we need. You know what we need though is we need like a gap 1.
Sure, I could do that.
I wish I could get this to.
No, okay. Take the gap out and then
No
put
gap.
in. No gap. No, mind the gap. Cloud W1/3, and then put after that space and there you go. P-2. Yeah, perfect. Let me get a little bit of panning. Yeah, nice. Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
there it is. It's beautiful. Look at that.
We
Holy
did
moly.
it. We did it.
We're
Okay.
done.
So then
No, like-
we can go even further. So we can
Yeah.
link to the external link. So we can go
Sure, we can do
album dot external URLs dot Spotify and
Target blank. I would do that.
target blank. Okay.
I think you. Oh, you're just around the image.
Right. And then we'd do it again around the.
Well, okay. Do we want to have like a subpage on this, where we go and get like the
Oh,
details?
Yeah. Why don't we do that? I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. So if we're just for the image, you can click on it and go to Spotify. All right. Let's try it one more time, just to see that actually works. I'm a big do test kind of guy.
And
Perfect.
that's going
And that
to.
works.
There
I
it
don't
is.
know why. Okay. It's arc or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Love it. Love it. Wow. Look at us.
Gorgeous.
It's amazing.
I mean, this is great. Like this did exactly what we were hoping for. And
And how much JavaScript have we written? Other than well, obviously on the server, but imagine if you're doing this in it, could kind of wrap this all back into HTMX for a second. So, if you were doing this in Go or Rust or PHP, right, you're primarily writing all of the actual logic and everything really over in PHP land, right?
Right.
You're not doing. Right. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the thing where it goes as you type. Right. So
type ahead would be great. Yeah.
So let's show off a little bit more of the coolness.
And folks have Oren is saying save the queue. We can do that with the albums, right? Where we'll be able to when you click through, we're going to be going to a sub page. So we're actually going to set that up.
Yeah.
And if we want to, we could theoretically make the searches savable as well by setting up a sub page.
Yeah, I think it actually has HTMX has history options as well, so you could.
Oh,
you can
interesting.
do that too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. So let's go over to our input again.
Here I am.
And nice. All right, cool. And you want to set up a trigger on that. So wait a second. Hold on. Yeah. HX trigger. And we're gonna say that we're looking for key up.
Key up. Okay,
Yeah.
so as I'm typing, whenever I put in a key, we're going to search.
Right. Changed. And then we're gonna say, well, how much delay do you want? So base delay is 500 milliseconds.
Do I type base delay or just 500?
Just delay : and then some amount of time. So 500 milliseconds or so.
Okay.
Cool. MS.
Oh, you got to actually put the
you
MS.
got
Got it.
Okay, and then comma search.
Like that?
Yeah, and I think that's actually gonna trigger the search.
Okay. So
And I think you actually.
what is the search? Like, what is search? Or is it search results?
Let's take it. Let's get it working and then take it out and see if it actually makes a difference.
Okay.
Okay, but let's also go take the HX post and HX target and move those into the input.
HX post, HS target.
Yeah, and put those into the input. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Good to go. Let's give it a try.
Okay, let's try it. So we're going to go with
Nice. Okay.
Beatles.
Cool. It does work. So let's take out that search and see what happens. Because I was kind of going by the literal docs.
Okay.
All right, let's try it again. Jay-Z, baby.
Did I save this? Okay.
All right.
So we go Beatles.
Still
It
works.
works. Okay. So I don't know what that. I'm not sure what that.
I
Maybe
do
that
not know.
search was like a named thing or like a targeting across kind of thing.
I feel so bad for your transcription person.
Just
We're totally
pure
talking over
chaos.
each other all the time.
I know. Amanda, you're a
Chaos.
champion.
Yeah, you are. Really.
Okay. So we've got the other thing. I just copied this back over so that if we do search, it doesn't submit the form, right?
Okay.
Right. Because what I was thinking is if I do it like this and then I submit the form, if I take this out, I'm pretty sure, let me double check here.
Let's give it a try. Yeah.
I think what'll happen is it'll load here, but then
it's
it
hard
submits
to know,
the form, right?
You could set the timeout to 3 seconds, so you get enough time to actually try. Up on the delay up there.
No, I'm saying like,
Oh,
did you,
not
sorry,
following.
yeah, let me show you what happened. So when I saved this, if I go Beatles,
Yeah, got it.
it searches.
Yeah.
But then if I hit load, it actually submits the form.
Oh.
So
that's not right.
if we put the HTMX
Back in
back
there.
on,
Yeah.
then if I go back
Got
to
it,
my
got it.
app, all right.
Yeah.
So then we can reload here
Yeah, little gotchas.
and it loads. But then if I click, it doesn't
Yeah.
submit anymore. It just loads.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Great.
So HTMX
Winning.
doing the thing. And the other thing that's nice is it's like this is intuitive enough that I understand anything that I put this on, it's going to do the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could probably get rid of the button altogether. I feel a little weird not having a submit button.
Yeah.
It feels like there should still be one, even if you're not technically using it.
I don't think we're going for we're going for experimentation.
That's true. Yeah. Like
We're
we
just
could
playing around.
we could make a mess for
with
sure.
HTMX. And it's cool. Come on, right?
This is
it's
I
pretty
mean, this is
cool.
really cool.
You
Like
can
it's
kind of see what Joel was all excited about.
Joel.
Hooks.
Joel Hooks? Oh, I didn't know that Joel liked this.
What?
I thought he just liked the laser eyes.
Oh, it's possible he liked it just for the memes. But
Yeah, maybe
no,
I thought he
he's
thought
actually-
maybe that horse
I
mask
think
was a
he's,
synth.
he's kind of a code junkie, he likes odd.
So, all right. Shout out to Joel Hooks for anybody who has no idea what we're talking about right now.
He's a
Oh
local
no,
friend.
different. No.
That's a
Oh
different
my
one.
God, that is. Sorry, JK. I didn't. What am I doing? This
don't
is
know.
Joel Hooks.
Yeah,
There we go. Look at that guy.
You might know him from Egghead, as well as other courses.
Yes, absolutely. You got something coming up, don't you?
Yeah, I do. ProNextJS.dev. Sign up today.
What is it? Pro Next.js.
ProNextJS.dev. Yeah.
Look at those beautiful
And it's
illustrators.
got
They're
like
so
a
good at this.
full-on state manager tutorial for free if you sign up.
Wow,
For Next.js. And that's
look
no,
at that.
And that's no BS. Because learning how to do Redux or Jotai or Zustand, and I got my German
Zustand.
correct. That's not BS. And so you get that for free by signing up today.
Nice. Okay,
But back to HTMX.
back to HTMX. I don't actually know what to do next.
What, you want to go for the detail page?
Yeah, I want to go for the detail
Okay, let's
page.
go.
All right, let's do it.
this
So
thing.
I'm going to, let's see, we need to create an,
Over in songs. Well,
we can do it in songs.
Well, no, I mean, we're going to create the link in songs.
Oh, right. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
And then get
let's
the
do it.
404, and we implement it on the 404.
Okay, so let's swap this out to be an actual link, and this is going to be. I guess we're going to need to do
Yeah,
it
you
like
need to template
this.
it, and it's going to be like, I don't know, /albums, and then ID. It's going to be that they're garbage IDs. Yeah.
ID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Away we go. All right.
And then let me just copy this over into. I'm going to
I
take
know
the,
what- yeah,
I'm going to
take
take
out
the
target
blank off.
you
Yeah.
want that.
Okay, so let's take this. Also
yeah,
going to
do
link
the
the
whole-
album name.
Whole Schlemiel Schmazel. What?
The whole what?
Schlemiel Schmazel. It's like it's a reference from what was it? Laverne and Shirley. You don't remember that?
I
We're gonna do it. Oh, come on. Okay.
I apologize.
Fine. All right.
I apologize.
Whatever.
I don't know that one.
What? Laverne and Shirley? It was a
Laverne
spin-off
and-
from Happy Days. Oh my
I apologize, Jack, but this predates me.
God. Wow. Ouch. Ouch. Okay.
It is so rare that I'm younger than a reference. Like this is actually
Wow.
kind of light. This is delightful for
my
me.
God.
You're making me feel
I
young
can sing
again.
a whole
Jack.
song right now, actually. Okay, let's go and implement on albums.
Okay, and so
you
what
want me
this
to do
just
direct-
did
yeah.
is we went to /albums, and then this is the ID of that album. If
So
I go
easy.
back, I
So
hit another
easy.
one. We'll do this.
Crazy, stupid easy.
Ta-da! There's another one. All right, cool.
Love it.
So then that means I know how to do the Astro
do?
part of this at least. I go to I do albums, and then we'll do
You know the trick.
we do the
Nice. Yeah. Do the
we'll
new-
just call it ID.
Do the new file. You put the slashes in there, and it auto creates the directory.
Ta-da.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this then I don't actually.
Matthew McConaughey reference, though, right?
All right.
Okay, cool. Good. Fine. Thank you. Jeez.
So let's just set this up now to do, we'll set it up to be like just album.
Yeah, sure.
And then does that automatically work? It does.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
And then you're going to have to get the param.
So we need to get
the astro.params. Whatever you said.
Yeah, so astro const ID equals astro.params. And then we need to album will be await that get album
Which you're going to have to import. But
call, which we will have to. And is it by ID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that.
So then.
Like, like a thing.
It's like we planned this.
It's like, yeah, right. It's like I actually did work last night. Right. When I'm sitting around watching, what was it we were watching? Oh, a British show on time travel.
Doctor Who?
No. Well, yeah, we watched the new Doctor Who. But no, this is a one on, like, I don't know. It's a time machine thing. I can't remember the name. It's good, though.
What if I just say that has to be, I'm just going to say that has to be set.
Yeah.
Because leave me alone, TypeScript.
Yeah. So
that's
now,
how I feel.
Sure,
just
right, whatever.
Calm down.
Yeah, calm down. All right, now album. We're supposed to place up with the album.name in the album, like the H2 there.
I was definitely not listening to what you just said. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Okay, in the H2, let's replace the text of album with album.name.
All right, I'm with you.
Got it. Okay.
We should get also the type album.
No, I don't think you need to. It's automatically there.
I don't?
No,
It
because it's
didn't-
no, you're fine. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. It was only because
Why
we had it
didn't
in a conditional before. We started out with.
Oh, here. Okay, here it is.
Yeah,
It's
you're
back.
good.
It's back. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
I mean, we're not doing any nice stuff. We're not like checking for 404s and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. It's fine. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, Abbey Road remastered. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that worked, and
That's
then
what we get when you do like Beatles. You get like unbelievable numbers of stuff.
So then we'll have
Source.
the source is going to be album.
Pretty much exactly the same thing it was last.
Yeah, I'm just going to copy paste it. Actually,
Yeah,
that seems
good
like
for
a better
you.
idea. So let's take this out.
Sloth. It's a thing.
Just grab this one.
Yep. Whoa. And did it work?
It did. It doesn't like it because it's. Don't be grumpy at me.
Why? Why is it?
Object is possibly undefined. How about you leave me alone? What
You
is?
sure it's not on a different key? Oh no.
Which one do you think is possibly undefined?
No, I think it's album info. Okay, yeah. Album images should be fine. Yeah. What's your problem?
Oh, it thinks images might not have. I guess there's a chance that.
Okay.
But I believe in us.
Weirdly, I went for relaxed. You went for relaxed, and it's more relaxed for me than it is for you. I don't know. Maybe it's
Who's
the at.
to say?
Maybe it's the at.
Oh yeah, it definitely could be.
Because I don't
Definitely
use
could
the
be.
at. I use just.
You get into
Zero.
those brackets. You're in there.
I just use the brackets.
Okay, so then we got that, and then
Okay.
we can.
Oh, and look at it worked.
It works. So we
Love
can
it. You can go through all the
ahref.
tracks. That's what I did. I just went through.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay,
I mean,
so
you want some info, right? You want. Yeah, look at you. Unordered list.
album
Tracks.
tracks.
Right. And amazingly, like,
Dot.
how because you can imagine like a compilation album, every track has its own artist. So much, but you can just do name.
Okay, so we'll do li. We don't have to key it because we're
Isn't
not
that
in
nice?
React. That is
Yeah.
lovely. And did I do this wrong?
No, I think you're good. Yeah, I think you're fine. Like, well, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I need items.
Oh, right, because that makes sense. Why? Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Beauty.
Yeah, you can get like the external Spotify URL if you want to put it on there.
Yeah, so why don't we just let's do that. We will do an href. That is going to be the album external
so you get the whole album.
URLs, Spotify.
Cool.
And then we're going to say listen on Spotify.
Yeah, or you could just go to any one of the songs. Like,
And we could
and
link
probably
all the
shouldn't hit any
songs.
of this because we're going to get
The
DCM
takedowns.
Get a takedown.
Yeah. But this is
But
great.
it's
Like
cool
this,
if you want to do this at home. If you're playing the home game,
like you click through and does
Right.
the thing.
Oh, it didn't
It doesn't play. But here we are
Nice.
on the right.
Yeah.
So it's doing the thing. It's doing what we wanted, and we could go through and do more of
Sure,
those.
We could do it on every track.
We could
Yeah,
we could do
all
that.
kinds of stuff.
But then as we go through, like we're going to hit, let's hit Jay-Z.
Nice. Okay.
Right? We hit one of these. We go in here, and there it is.
Nice
Like,
cover.
it's great, man.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, I wonder what the history thing is. You want to like learn, like we can go over to like Astro HTMX, the docs page, and see what the history thing's about. Because the guy asked, like, can you do like the queue in the, can you persist the query string in the, so go docs, in the history, and I think you can. So let's go down to history. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Is that it? Really? Are you kidding me right now?
But that'll only push this part.
Well, let's try. I don't know. Give it a go.
All right, let's do it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go back to.
But we don't auto pre-fill the queue. So we'd see the link change at least.
We'll see the link change to /songs. So HX, was it push? HX.
Push history or something, right? That was kind of weird.
Wait, I lost it. Here it is. Push URL.
Push URL equals true. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So let's go back out here, and now I'm going to search Beatles,
And now we'll look at the URL.
and it goes to songs.
Ooh,
so
that's
what
not
we
what you
need to
want.
figure out is how to put the
Okay.
query string in here.
Well, okay, but all right. Maybe that, I don't think that's exciting. I'm trying to think about all the things I'd want to know about HTMX while in the time remaining.
Right.
And we've got,
Because we do have like 25 minutes.
okay, cool. Well, that's good because I mean, there's a couple of things. There's also this HX boost thing that you should know about. So you go over to HTML again, the stuff, and you pretty much add on like HX boost to the body. Oh, you don't have a layout. Whatever, it's fine.
Like here?
Yeah, equals true. And what this is going to do is,
Break everything.
yeah, that's because you're on /songs. Yeah, right. As it changes out the contents, it's actually going to do. Oh wait, no, sorry. As you transition from page to page, it's going to look at the DOM and try and do a smooth transition from. It's actually going to preload the new HTML, and then try and do a nice DOM diff for you as you go from page to page. So if you have like a persistent header and nav.
Oh, like it won't try to reload.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You don't
cool.
get as much page flicker. So it's trying to do spa style stuff.
That's
between
cool.
those two.
That's very cool.
Right.
So
which does actually compete a little bit with what I would say view transitions if you're going
Yes.
to use those in the Astro world. But you know, yeah, it's there if you don't want to use.
it's trade-offs, right? It's like
trade-offs, right.
whatever thing is better suited to your needs.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of folks, like view transitions are one of those things that they make sense, but it has to be thoughtfully designed.
Yeah.
Whereas not blowing away your header and footer on every page navigation does not need to be thoughtfully designed.
Yeah.
So like HX Boost is like, this is free. Just do it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And so like another example is like as you're, I think it's doing this. I don't know for sure, but as you're changing out like songs, like or you know, your query, right? When it's bringing in new content for that div, it's actually doing a diff between those. Like it's actually trying to make sure that it's only updating where it needs to. So it's doing like you know, when you think about like why did we get into React, right? Well, one of the reasons was we wanted to keep the flicker down by doing intelligent DOM updates. This actually does that, right? Behind the scenes for you. You don't need to deal with it. You're just outputting HTML, and when it looks at the HTML, is actually trying to do that diff.
Got it. So if we start searching for something that's going to have more,
Like an overlap. Ooh, wow, this is neat. Oh, Pearl
so
Jam.
like there's
Like
a bunch of things with.
What did you search for?
I just searched for Lightning because I figured there'd
neat.
be a lot of albums with Lightning in it.
Oh.
And so as we like continue to search, then something like let's go
Lightning
cars.
cars.
Then cars comes up.
Right.
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 And it also
Not
looks like
quite the
this
best.
is
I mean-
pretty impressive from the
I didn't see a lot of.
Spotify side because it looks like it's also doing fuzzy search for us,
Oh yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Now the other thing I'm interested in actually is
You can get hardcore with that search though. You can say like artist : and
well, and we could do
really
some
drill down on it.
And we could do some fun stuff. I don't think we need to get into this today because it would be more of an Astro focus, but like we could do some fun stuff in here where on our song output, like we could specify view transition names and stuff. And then as we search, this one would move back and forth and all that. Or like as this one, if you click on it, it would like transition to full screen. There's some really nice stuff that would work in here.
That's really nice. Because of that view transition stuff that you're getting, again, for free from Astro.
Right.
The other thing that we should talk a little bit about on the HTMX side, so let's go back to the HTMX docs, is hyperscript. I wouldn't want to walk away on this and not have talked about hyperscript.
Docs and hyperscript.
I don't know if it's going to show up.
What just happened?
Well, you know, they got a really lame search on this, by the way. Yeah, just got on
hyperscript.
Yeah, that's the one you're looking for. Okay, so as I say, they're not going to do the stuff like hiding and showing elements and stuff like that. There's nothing for that like off the shelf. What you can do is you can use either JavaScript, like they're doing there, I believe. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so scroll up a little bit. A little bit more. There you go. Right.
Oh, like this on?
Yeah.
So you can just throw some like
you can
straight.
throw arbitrary JS in there, right? So you could, like, if you had an element that you wanted to hide and show based on a click, like a hamburger menu.
Right.
So in this case, you could do like a document, you know, display none, whatever, yada, yada, get an element by ID. Or you can use this hyperscript stuff. And this is like the other half of the book of this big book is hyperscript. And hyperscript is I guess an easy, simplified language that you can use to do things like set, say hide this or show that or do transitions or things like that. So
and the idea,
this is where it kind of loses me actually, because I'm not a big fan of hyperscript or Java or AppleScript or OCScript.
Is hyperscript new or is this?
No. It's actually from back in my day, back in Laverne and Shirley days.
The new measure of time, back in the Laverne and Shirley days.
Back in the before days, in the prehistoric times. We had this, before the web, there was actually this program called HyperCard. You'd have the concept is you'd have a stack of cards. Think like a classic for this would be like a recipes sort of thing. And in order to navigate around, there was some nice helper things like, this button goes to that card, but you could also script it, and the scripting language was called hyperscript, and it was everything was very human-y sounding, like
it's like natural language. Yeah.
Tell this card to show itself, kind of thing. And as a C++ programmer, and as a C++ programmer back in that day, I was like, no, man, I'm not having that. Like that's terrible. So I was never a big fan back then, and now this guy's kind of decided that he wants it back again. So he's
did you ever work with?
It's not a 24K. You got to bring it in to do this.
Right. So did you ever work with Cucumber and Gherkin? It was and that was like that plain language testing library.
Yes. Right.
I struggled so hard with it.
Yeah,
like it never made sense to my brain.
And I had to be the guy that was like, I would write the little verbs or whatever to make it actually work.
Right.
And so I don't know, shuffle or whatever it was. I had to define that, and then I would do all the real work. And then
Yeah, it was one of the I think I love the idea of just explain to the computer what you want it to do. I feel like the instances where humans have attempted to write a programming language that feels like talking to a computer aren't, in my experience, have not quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
I know that's
where you see AI going.
Well, that seems to be it seems to be what everybody's pushing toward now with like ChatGPT is like, build me an app that does XYZ, or like you tell Copilot, I need a component that does XYZ, and it sort of does the thing.
But it's the last thing I would want for test, because if it's non-deterministic what it's going to do, like go and hit the checkout, add this to the cart, and then do that checkout, and that's the prompt. Like if it were to do it different ways. I would be nope, never yet. Never.
It does feel like maybe the the brass ring for this is figuring out a way to get the AI inputs with deterministic outputs.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, this is so far outside of my field of expertise. I have no idea how it would actually work, but it is like there's so much to be excited about in that space. It doesn't quite do what I want it to do yet. And with that little aside, why don't we get back?
Yeah, are there questions we can answer?
Yeah, does anybody have questions about
No BS.
about HTMX while we're there? Let's see. Looks like
Somebody asking what no BS means?
no, just joking about no BS.
No, I've actually been asked that. Like when I did my
Demetrius
my,
wants BS.
Oh, okay. When I did my no BS TypeScript series, there's a bunch of folks who didn't get that reference, and that makes sense. You know?
It can be tough when you're like. I used to make a
Not
lot of
international norm.
I used to make a lot of jokes, and then people who were English as a second language would be like, "I don't understand your jokes," and I was like, that probably makes it less fun to do this, huh?
Yeah. ECAD, ALS. No, I don't know what that is. Okay.
Don't know.
Don't know.
So did you want to try to write any hyperscript in our remaining 10, 15 minutes here?
You know, we could. I don't know how we would integrate that into this example. Maybe like show songs. Let's do that. We'll make a show songs flag. And so you want to go over to hyperscript.org. And because we're going to need to bring in a script tag, we're going to need to bring in the hyperscript library.
Okay, so I'm going
so
to
that install there is literally just bring it in as a script tag. No kidding.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go over to our songs page. And because we don't have a shared layout, we'll just drop that. Sure, that works. Oh wait, this is no. We want to go into the detail one. Sorry, this is if we're going to hide and show.
Oh right, we want to hear.
Right, we want to hear. Yeah.
Okay,
cool. And I guess we're going to want to put a div on the ID on that UL so we can toggle it.
Oops. ID is
song
track list.
Track list. There you go. That works. Okay. Now let's have a button. Yeah, button for
show track list.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then that's going to be HX on. I want to say, and then clicked colon. Hold on. This is where I because it's not JavaScript. Like okay.
Right.
If this is JavaScript, I'd know like right off the bat. Yeah. Oh,
here we go. On click, send, or on... Wait, can I just do...
Yeah, not HX on, sorry. It's underscore.
What?
Yeah, the name of the attribute is underscore equals.
What?
Yeah, I know. Okay, and then like on click, show menu. And then hash menu, really. Or track list. Yeah, perfect. Good. Go. Well, yeah, but it's already shown, so you need a button to hide it. Right? Because it's already...
Okay. We're just... You know what? We're just going to do this. It's on click, hide...
We're just kids.
Track list. Hide track list.
Yep, there you go. Perfect.
So then we're going to come back out here, go to our demo site. I'm going to search for, Jay-Z.
Oh, you got easy, and it still worked.
This is just Tailwind defaults hiding all my
Really?
type. Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
It's there. It is. Look at it.
Not.
Look at it. Look at it.
What?
It's a mess, isn't it?
It's a mess.
Okay, so we hide track list.
Show track list.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you like that?
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it. Okay.
But I don't love it. Like this feels like a big pile of magic just showed up.
Oh my God, yeah. 24K of magic just showed up on the page to make that happen. But I will say, I think there was somebody who posted an example of some hyperscript where it would have been more difficult to have done it in JavaScript. It was like this weird parallel promise thing. It was like, oh, that actually works pretty well.
And I think and this is sort of what I've noticed is we probably aren't using it for the purpose that it's like optimal for. Like I imagine there's some sweet spot of hyperscript where it's like this is where it shows its power.
This is the bomb.
And we're not doing that. Like we're doing about the simplest thing we could do, basically the hello world of a scripting language.
Yeah.
So, like I'm reserving judgment on it because my initial instinct, but also I am the sort of person who fears change.
I just don't I guess my thing was like I don't see the need to put another language on the browser, but you're not really. I mean, it's all what I don't know.
I think, yeah. I mean, and I'm with you there. Like,
am I going to hire for folks that are going to do hyperscript? Really?
I don't know. I mean, I do think like competition is good, obviously, and having something other than JavaScript in the browser is exciting because it applies pressure to both sides to improve.
Yes.
However, do I have faith that anything is going to get the adoption and stability of JavaScript?
Right. No.
Significantly less confident in that.
The HTMX meme guy, right? Love his game and all that, but his whole thing is he's very clear that like, if you want a job, learn React.
I have seen that.
Yeah, and he says it actually a fair amount. So I mean, that's fair, right? It is. So yeah, this is cool and stuff, but I think it exists as much to apply pressure, like what you were saying, to like, hey, you don't necessarily need to do the big JSON client-side render mega bundle blah 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 thing. You can, if you're smart and safe on your servers, go and do HTML, have it all render from the server, and it's really easy. It's really easy.
So I'm gonna drop another link to HTMX here, maybe. Ooh, docs. There we go. So let's go HTMX homepage.
Yeah, good for you.
Go check it out. This is fun. I think I agree with the HTMX account. I don't know his name, but
I don't know his name.
If you want a job, learn React. I think this falls squarely into what I would say is the play side of the web, where it is super fun to learn about this stuff, to understand how it works, to think about different ways we could solve the same problems. In terms of like practicality and like, should you ship this in production, I would probably push back against it personally, just because it feels to me to be something that is like, I love it as a learning device. I love flipping some of the preconceptions I have about like how we render things. But also, like, I don't see this being something that is going to withstand all of the very fiddly requests that you get as your team grows to have marketing and product and all the other things that are there.
Yeah.
So like,
what about
love it as a learning
tags?
So all right, well now we got to do a middleware piece where we're gonna have to like track where people go in their journey so that we can make heat maps of what they're clicking on the page. Like all those sorts of things. Like, you're gonna have to do that in any significantly trafficked product, and we can probably figure that out in HTMX. But like, I don't know. What I'd rather do is use something like this to challenge my assumptions about what I needed JavaScript for. Like, maybe I can simplify. Maybe I can do this with less complexity. And I love that. And I also I think it's cool to see people thinking about this differently.
Then the ever-expanding frameworks of Doom will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. And, you hear the words like JS fatigue. Folks joking about how they're taking, they've got PNGs in their bundles that have been like, oh, God,
Agreed. And I think, to me, what I find most exciting about stuff like this is that it's showing that there's still a place for imagination in web dev. And I love the creativity that's being applied here to sort of take like, this isn't PHP reimagined. This isn't another JavaScript framework. This is kind of like a secret third thing. I haven't really seen this approach before, and it's cool. I hope it inspires, some more thinking from the big folks. Like, maybe the browsers will take some ideas out of this. Maybe the frameworks will take some ideas out of this. Maybe it'll help us simplify the way we build in the future.
Yeah. One thing that I think is sort of in that range as well is also Hotwire.
Hotwire, that's the
Laravel Hotwire, I think. Well, Laravel is one of them, but also,
that's Turbo, Hotwire.
Hotwire for Laravel, that third one down, I think. Maybe that gets you to...
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe it's a...
So it's like Turbo Laravel
thing. I don't know, but basically the idea is that it's server-driven interaction. I mean, think about like ASP.NET forms back in the day, where it's like anytime you click on something, you literally go back to the server. Yeah.
Oh, right. This is the one that came out of...
So you get a little client-side library, and then it's talking to the server all the time, and the server can send back like, okay, show this div now, and here's a replacement content for that, and again, it's all on the server,
right?
And all
right,
server
right.
driven, but and it's even more server driven than this. This is like you've added little HX stuff to your HTML, which, by the way, actually, if you were to go and send back stuff out of like /songs that had HX stuff in it, that would work too. Just
Got it.
So you can do cool stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Hotwire thing is like literally exclusively run off the server.
That's so, yeah, and I can see like this is sort of how we're growing as an industry, and it's fun to see where things are starting to grow back together because there was I would say a bit of an exodus away from PHP in the like mid 2000s, right? Where we were seeing the absolute dominance, the continued dominance of WordPress.
Right.
And a lot of people writing PHP. That was how a lot of stuff was getting put up on the web. And, whenever something's the dominant force, you see a lot of people who are learning and they make learners' mistakes. And if you don't know, if you don't have a good teacher, don't have a community, there's not necessarily anybody to help you correct those.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of trash built in PHP. I think that's why PHP
I think PHP wasn't as good of a language as it is now. And somebody actually made a great video. I don't know if you saw that one about like PHP is not your father's PHP thing.
Yeah.
That video is fantastic.
That's kind of what I mean. Is like
they improved a lot.
Well, we had that exodus, and what's interesting is that it just left the like practitioners, right? And so suddenly you had this language that it had its big moment of popularity, and then it was still dominant. Like there's PHP everywhere, but it wasn't attracting all the newcomers. Crazy. So Laravel has just been so good, and like it's not the only one. There's so many cool things happening in the PHP space, and we kind of saw the same thing across a lot of different spaces where they dropped off the hype radar and just improved. Like they just got so much better. So and what's interesting now is that we're seeing people are talking about Livewire from Laravel and Live View from Phoenix.
Oh, there you go.
All this stuff like this is let me
Laravel Livewire. Yes, that was the one that I was playing around with, and that you're exactly right. That's the one.
Yeah,
and it was actually I thought it was actually really cool. Like, it's just a different model, and I like seeing that.
And what's interesting is we're starting to see those ideas start to creep, like RSC, like React Server Components. That's very much like a PHP inspired thing. Like write code here, we'll render it on the client side for you. Like it's cool to see that these ideas are starting to merge, and I don't know. I like what HTMX is doing. I think it's going to challenge the paradigms a little bit. Maybe we see another little Cambrian explosion of what could be next on the web, like we did at the time when we saw that PHP exodus.
Yeah, and I think this is actually maybe it's pushing stuff on the React side, or maybe this is just what they were doing naturally anyway. But like I'm going to do a video for Monday. Was it? Yeah, on server actions, and now server actions with this. So Next.js 14, all that kind of fun stuff, can stream back components.
Like client components?
Yeah. It's bonkers.
That's cool.
It's really cool. It's only weirdly in the AI library. It's like they brought it in through their Versal AI library, but it is wicked cool. And it's the kind of thing. It basically, like, you can kind of see like that HTMX thing. It's like, oh wow, we're driving this out of the server again. It's just so neat. But the fact that they've now, like, they take that extra step to like, oh, and it streams, and you can like, oh wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of interesting stuff happening in the space. I'm very excited about it. So I just dropped a link to Jack's channel. You said that video is coming out on Monday. All right, so make sure you go subscribe to Jack. And while you're subscribing to things, make sure you subscribe to the Learn with Jason channel, because it makes me feel good. I don't know if I don't think it serves any other purpose, but I sure do get a big smile on my face whenever somebody subscribes to this channel. Jack,
as do I.
Where else should people go if they want to find out? Let's start with you. Where else should people go?
Cool. Twitter, that's one. LinkedIn. I actually cross-post everything I do on Twitter and LinkedIn. Oh wow, buy me a coffee. You could do that, sure.
You can do so many things.
It's weird. Like people, I've been thinking about the whole Patreon thing and all that stuff. I don't know, but I'm also on Medium. I'm starting to do a lot more actually. Like I'm trying to do an article for every single video that I do.
There's
Look at that crazy guy.
Look at this photo.
On
This
the
is
green
great.
screen. Got to do that. It's YouTube.
No, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
So now, where should people go if they want to learn more about HTMX? So we've shared. I'm going to share this just one more time.
HTMX.org. Yeah, for sure.
Anything else you've seen that feels like a good resource?
I don't think so, guys. Like, and maybe that hyperscript. Oh, yeah, if you're gonna get into that I think the two work hand in hand. Basically, I think the idea is that you get the hyperscript is the base layer, I guess, and then HTMX fits on top of that to do all the async work. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. And apparently, we got the guy's name, by the way. Somebody put it up there. Carson Gross.
Carson Gross.
Is that that's the okay. I guess that's the HTMX guy.
Well,
I'm dyslexic, y'all. I don't know names from anybody, so, you know.
Sorry, Carson, for reducing you to a horse mask. Your memes are funny.
Strong meme.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to do it, if you're going to get out there, it's an interesting approach to, like, there's so much about DevRel and, like, trying to get your cool libraries out there. You know, that's one way. For sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, so here's, let's see. This is, why did that not, whatever. I'll figure it out later. So this episode, like every episode, was sponsored by Netlify and Vetsu Code, who made the live captioning possible. We've had Amanda with us the whole show, taking down all of this nonsense. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. You're a trooper. You're a trooper.
Sorry. Really.
Make sure you you go over and check out the site because we've got so much good stuff coming up on the show. We have next week, Rizal Scarlett is coming to join. We're going to talk about distributed identity. Week after that, we've got Cassie Evans. We're going to play with some GSAP stuff, GreenSock, if you haven't played with that. That's going to be super fun. Then we got Mark Texan coming on. We're going to talk about Angular. That's going to be really fun. Like, it's just going to be, we're going to close out the year strong. So make sure you can get the calendar wherever you want. You can join the Discord. You can get on the newsletter. You can get the calendar. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe on Twitch. You can even subscribe on LinkedIn. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. I just want to hang out. That's all. Yeah. Like, let's be friends.
I enjoyed this.
This was super fun. I appreciate you so much for coming in and hanging out in studio. You even brought me a snack. Like, what a champ.
It's amazing.
Jack, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Yeah. Any parting words before we wrap this one up?
No, just, keep on experimenting, keep on playing with it. It's fun. That's why I've been doing it all these years. It's fun. Create some stuff. Do some stuff. Make some stuff. Don't just learn. Go make some stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what makes it stick in your brain. And it's also the fun part.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, what good is study if you're not applying?
Got you excited about HTMX, just try it.
Build a toy. Don't worry about the fact that it might not be the best
throw
choice.
Throw it away. Whatever. At the end of the day, you're like, oh, well, that's neat.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You're going to learn something. You're going to have fun. Jack, thank you so much. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will see you next week. Take care, y'all.